Hello and welcome back to the FIA European Drag Racing Championship. We're here at Santipod Raceway for the 5th and final round. Now we know that in the Pro Stock Championship, Nicholas Andersson from Sweden has already won it. But the question is, who will come second, Michael Malmgren or Jakob Ferrer? Now Gordy Bonin and Alan Jackson were dicing for the win in Top Fuel. But a recent blow-up in Hockenheim has wrecked Alan Jackson's chances and he won't be competing here today. So Gordy Bonin is the FIA European Top Fuel Champion. Let's get on with the action with Pro Stock.
Welcome to Santipod Raceway for round 5, a glorious aerial view of the racetrack. As Russ said, we'll be concentrating on Pro Stock and Top Fuel, but take a look at this for a piece of action coming later in the show.
Well, the weather here in Santipod is over 27 degrees. It's great conditions for attracting the crowds in their thousands, and the good air means high horsepower for the drivers. Well, all in all, it looks like today we're going to have a fun-filled day of racing here at Santipod Raceways in the United Kingdom.
Let's start with Pro Stock. Michael Malmgren, you remember, is contesting second place in the championship. Also in that contest, this man, Jari Konala. Well, I don't think either of these drivers would have chosen the other for a quarter-final opponent. More corporate sponsors arriving for what's been a very busy weekend here at Santipod. Well, hot news from this race. Not only is Michael Malmgren the #1 qualifier, but also qualified with a new European record for Pro Stock, a 7.061 second run. We could be on for 6 second runs here in eliminations. This, of course, the first of our quarter-finals. Jari Konala in the far lane, Panasonic's Michael Malmgren. Konala the first into pre-stage. Well, Malmgren edges the Oldsmobile forward into pre-stage. Well, this is where the drivers really are. Very, very tense indeed. Such a precise manoeuvre. You can see Konala moving into stage. Malmgren follows him and the green. Well, nothing to choose, but it looks to be Konala out ahead. Here comes the Oldsmobile. Wow, right on the line. I think Michael Malmgren indeed just took that one. Krista and the boys celebrate. Well, in slow motion, you can see a great launch from Malmgren. But in fact, Konala was the man out the hole first, and that translates to a lead at half-track. But the power of the Oldsmobile, working perfectly, comes round. Konala takes the win. A bye run for rising star Jakob Ferrer. Qualified well at #2 here this weekend with a 7.10 second time. A far cry for this car, spinning on its roof in Sweden in 1998. Definitely going to be the man to watch is Jakob Ferrer in the year 2000. Well, Jakob goes safely through into the semi-finals. This has got to be regarded as an easy matchup for the Wolf. Nicholas Andersson already crowned as the FIA Pro Stock Champion. Russ joins me here in the commentary position. How do you rate Magnus Hansen's chances, Russ?
Well, Magnus beat Schettelhauer in an earlier round, so he's obviously on some form this weekend, but I can't see him beating Nicholas.
Well, relatively inexperienced Nicholas Andersson straight, well, you can see Hansen straight into stage there, backs the car out of stage, says let's start again. A very precise manoeuvre, rolling forward into pre-stage. Nicholas Andersson waits, rolls right through stage. Well, Andersson stages. Well, back up goes Hansen, the starter having no more truck with that. Presses the go button, sends Nicholas Andersson through on a bye run in effect into the semi-finals. Well, Hansen must be gritting his teeth and wondering what on earth went wrong there. So unusual. Take a look at this. Both cars were in stage, but then Hansen moves again as the starter presses the button. What did you make of that, Russ?
I think he must have left it in reverse as he rolled forward, but most unusual. I can't imagine what he was thinking about.
Well, I don't think it will worry Nicholas Andersson too much. He's through into the semi-final and for a bye run. Magnus Hansen follows him down the track. you can see these are our semi-finals. Michael Malmgren still after second place. Racers Jakob Ferrer Anderson with the bye. First round of racing proper, the champion, Gordy Bonin, out racing long-time legend and number 6 qualifier from Sweden, Pelle Lindelöf. Well, Pelle qualified with a new combination in the car, lots of new fuel induction parts, and you can see sporting one of those Peterland's butt catchers high up on top of the car. For Gordy Bonin, well, everything had been going to plan. He was already the champion. This was out for fun. How did you read the race, Russ, that was coming up?
Well, I think that Pelle really isn't in the championship, to be quite honest. Gordy has now got it under his belt. So Gordy's going to be wanting to try and break that 300-mile-an-hour record.
Well, we'll be looking out for that one, of course. In Europe, no one over the magic 300 miles an hour mark. Could it be Gordy Bonin going to be the first to put a car in that range? Here we go. Just the same applies, that very precise 8-inch roll forward. Lindelöf into stage. Gordy Bonin stayed at the grid. Well, look at that, Pelle. Something breaking on the car, I think. Over by the track. Bonin shuts it off. Well, that was a real turn up for the books. I think Lindelöf, look at the way the car reacted there away from the line. Before the tree ran, Gordy Bonin with a 5.08 clicks it off to 250 miles an hour. On to our next race in the quarterfinals. Number 2 qualifier Peter Lance and Robin Reed with the Elite B car. You know a little bit about that car, Russ?
Well, only that Bill Schultz, who's the chap, I think on the left-hand side of the picture there, is the guy that tunes Robin Reed's car. Both of these drivers are a bit unknown as far as this race is concerned, but my money would go on Robin Reed.
Well, Peter Lance has been out of the saddle for quite a while, has had a little bit of a sabbatical away from Top Fuel with hired drivers. Number 2 qualifier though, but you can't discount Reed. Lots of experience, both cars very quickly in pre-stage. And it's Robin Reed who moves into stage first. Lance follows him on the green. Well, up in smoke goes Peter Lance. Robin Reed is away and takes the win. Well, they'll be pleased with that one. This then our final quarter-final. Jens Nebo against wins Barry Sheevels.
For those that remember, Graham, of course, this is a rerun of last year's championship final when Barry was racing Jens Nebo for the 98 series title. Of course, Barry went on to win that one, but he's been having all sorts of problems this year.
Well, basically, we brought the brand new car over from the States with all the latest technology, and it's just been too powerful for the tracks in Europe, unfortunately. We have had a lot of gremlins along the way, new car gremlins, new combination, but here we are at Santa Pod, and this is the finals, and we're almost there.
Well, very different circumstances indeed from 98. Barry though, number 3 qualifier, everything finally going well for the team. Jens qualified in at number 4. The crew chiefs, well, ever so busy outside those cars. New paint job as well for Jens Nebo. Barry sits in that beautifully decorated Wins car and must feel he'd love history to repeat itself. Well, problems before the cars went into stage. Rune Fjeld having to push the rods to get Barry's car into forward gear again. Here we go, Jens Nebo already waiting in pre-stage. Barry rolls the car forward quickly. Well, what has that done to the calmness that the drivers need? Who's going to be the first into stage? Barry edges into stage. Nebo follows him in. Is history to repeat itself? Both cars away from the line. Barry pedals it, smokes the tyres. Both cars have clicked off. Look at this, problems for Nebo. Takes the win at the walk. Well, almost unbelievable. Take a look in slow motion. Barry Sheevels wheelies out the hole. A 0.55 reaction time. Smokes the tyres, comes off the power. Risks it by going in again and clicks it off. Jens Nebo already out of it.
That's about sums up my season, I think. We know the car's got all the horsepower, and we just overpowered the track again, and there's nothing you can do. You don't go anywhere if the tyres are smoking. and I tried to pedal it a couple of times, and you know, I mean, what a year. We know we've got the quickest and fastest car in Europe, we just have never got the power to the track, and totally and utterly disappointed.
Well, we'll be back next year, and I think for sure they'll get the car to work, and when the car works, I think you'll see some real surprises in times that have never been seen outside of America. So we're really confident that next year we'll hook it all together.
Semi-finals still to come. The champ has a bye run into the final. Robin Reid races Denmark's Jens Nebo. Well, of course, Nicholas Anderson, already crowned as champion for 99, has a bye run into the final, and the Wolf won't waste any time in making sure that all the data for the computer needed every time these cars run down the track is absolutely complete. Doesn't hang around, runs a 7.113. This is the race that's really going to count though, Russ.
Well, Michael Malmgren in the blue Panasonic car is fighting for second place with Jakob Ferrer. The winner of this race will effectively be second in the championship. But the interesting thing is that Jakob Ferrer is now racing out of the same stable as Michael Malmgren. So will there be any team orders?
Who can say? I regard Ferrer as the rising star of 1999, definitely going to be the man to watch. Michael's very happy with the new European record, and I think feeling real comfortable in the car now, Russ. This is going to be right down to the wire. Both nerves are going to be jangling. I have a sneaky feeling that Ferrer maybe just has the edge on horsepower. Here we go, Ferrer into pre-stage. Mike Malmgren follows him in. First car to stage, then Jakob Ferrer notches it forward. Firebird plays Oldsmobile colours on the green. Well, a great launch from Malmgren, but look at Ferrer. A half track is still there. Who's going to take it right on the line? It looked to be Ferrer. Well, that's a real disappointment for Panasonic. And look at Ferrer carry the front wheels. You can see at half track, nothing to choose in it. The quicker reaction time for Malmgren. But look, it's the time that counts. The horsepower of that Firebird just pulls him through.
We drove through the clutch. We had a lot of tire spin in other runs, and obviously we did too much radical change to try to get the car to grip, and the thing helped, but we drove through the clutch completely. It slipped real bad second and third, so we had the slowest run of the whole weekend, which is a bad time to use in the semi-finals.
This sets up our final of the final race. Jakob Ferrer, Nicholas Anderson. Into our semi-finals of Top Fuel. Jens Nebo burns out, the man from Denmark, racing Great Britain's Robin Reid up this side of the ladder. Robin Reid, his first semi-final in Top Fuel, and I'm sure relishing it here at Santa Pod, Ross.
Well, Santa Pod is absolutely rammed this weekend. I would say over 20,000 spectators have come to see the racing, and a lot of people would have come to see these cars, the Top Fuel monsters.
You can absolutely cut the air with a knife, not only because it's full of nitromethane fumes, but also the tension these cars create. They're an inner body experience. You have to be there to feel them. Jens edges forward into pre-stage. Robin Reid joins him there. You can see that view of the sharp front end of these 300 miles an hour monsters. Robin Reid edges into pre-stage. Here we go. The cars go on to full fuel system. Robin Reid notches forward into stage. The chief starter launches him in on the green. Well, look at this. Robin Reid out ahead. Jens Nebo trailing at this point. Whoa, takes the win. Whoa, and a big fire. Look at that. Robin right in the midst of that.
Well, that was an incredible explosion there, Graham. Robin is still stuck in the car. He's moving. I can see him trying to get out of the car. It could catch fire. Can't quite see because of the crew here. But Robin appears to be out and okay.
Well, you can see a singe, but glad to be out of that car, Robin Reid. But still there's a threat. The fire marshals haven't got that under control yet. You can see they go in without a thought for their own safety. Well, that was exciting, but not the ideal way to win the race. Robin Reid, you can see out ahead all the way, a quicker reaction time takes the win from Jens Nebo, and then that elephant motor just disassembles itself with a bang. They always used to say you couldn't get burnt sitting in front of the engine. I'm glad to report Robin's okay if a little singed.
Gather I've lost my eyebrows and I must have just breathed in some smoke and changed the colour of my fire suit a bit, but yeah, I'm okay. I'll be back.
Robin through into the final, joined there by Gordy Bonin, who ran a problematical bye-run in the semi. The final in Pro Stock, the Wolf and the Rising Star. Let's have a word with FIA promoter Keith Bartlett.
I have to sort of do this is becoming a repetitive story for 1999 Pro Stock. Nicholas Anderson, he seems unbeatable.
Well, we'd all agree with Keith, but Jakob Ferrer has improved dramatically this year and will want to make a sign or at least a gesture by winning here to show his intent to take the championship next year.
Well, I would say Ferrer maybe with the faster car on this particular weekend. Both cars in pre-stage. Well, Ferrer in pre-stage. Anderson follows him in but makes him wait a little while. Jakob Ferrer edges forward in stage. Anderson now, the Wolf goes into stage. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Ferrer had to make a move. A red light goes before the green. Hands the win in the final race to the champion, Nicholas Anderson.
Well, the question is here, do you think Jakob Ferrer would have won had he not red lit?
Undoubtedly, I mean, that reaction time was destined to be a .40. Just a pity it was the wrong side and drew the red light. Nicholas Anderson, though, proving he's a worthy champion.
It's fantastic to win here, and that's run it was easy. Jakob here, red light, and so it was cool. So we win here, and I will thank my team for a great job, and it's fantastic. And I think England it is my lucky track.
At the end of the championship, Nicholas Anderson takes back-to-back wins. Jakob Ferrer in second place. Michael Malmgren will have to wait for another year. Gordy Bonin, Top Fuel champion, but it's been a team effort.
So Bob, you're one of the men behind Gordy Bonin. You've come over here and in your first year you've become the FIA European Drag Racing Champions. How did you do it?
Well, some good racing luck, Russ, and we partnered ourselves with an excellent team with Runefeld, and it's just turned out to be a kind of a storybook finish, not only for Gordy as the driver, but for Prolong as a company new to the FIA European Championship. The platform of the FIA Championship, it's ramping up. The best days for this type of racing is yet to come. I see a very enthusiastic fan base, and when other sponsors discover the type of reception that Prolong has enjoyed this season, I have no doubt that there are great things for the future of this series.
Gordy Bonin then burns out the car for possibly the last time in 1999. The final. Racing Great Britain's Robin Reid and the elite team have the car all back together again, ready to race. They're not letting the American get away with anything. Let's have a word with Keith Bartlett.
We all knew Gordy was running. He's won the championship. We knew he would come here feeling confident, running strong. But the surprise of the whole weekend is Robin Reid. Bill Schultz has tuned that car and put the car back together from the other car that crashed in Hockenheim 2 weeks ago. And they came out here today and just put down just incredible numbers. And right now, Robin Reid's going to take a lot of beating.
Both these drivers have had an ordeal so far this weekend. We saw Robin Reid getting torched at the end of the track, but Gordy Bonin also had a lucky escape when he stripped the hub of the Top Fuel dragster that we're looking at here, which could have sent him into the barrier. So both these guys are probably a little bit nervous.
Well, look at it, that problem found just before the start of his bye-run in the semi-final. So both cars now load up for bear, nobody giving anything to anybody else. Robin Reid for Great Britain, Gordy Bonin for the United States, already the champion. But I know Robin would love to lift this race away from the champion. Here we go then, the nitro thick in the air. Robin Reid heads towards pre-stage. Looks like he's very, very eager to get on with this race already into pre-stage. Gordy Bonin there. Well, Robbie Reed follows him in. This is where the tension mounts. This is the final of Top Fuel. Who's going to be the first into stage? Well, Gordie Bonnie moves in, anxious to race. Robbie moves him in the green. Both cars away together. The lead with Gordie Bonnie. And clicks it off a half track. Incredibly, Robbie Reed takes the win. And yet another fire.
Well, fortunately, the fire's put itself out. The teams celebrate a great win by Robin Reed.
Well, everybody ecstatic up at that top end. Well done to Robin Reed. You can see Gordie Bonnie very quick out the hole. Pedalled the car, though. You can see quicker reaction time for the American. Robin right there with him. Then something lets go on the prologue car. And Robin makes it through right at the finish.
Congratulations! You won!
What can I say? What can I say?
Nothing
This
more
is
but a
dream.
fiery
This is a dream.
situation.
Well, I believe in America they call this deal winning ugly. Any way it comes, I'll take it. I mean, this is my rookie season in Top Fuel. To win the European finals meeting it don't get better than this.
Gordie Bonnie then takes the championship. Robin Reed overtakes teammate Alan Jackson for second place. Barry Sheevels finishes fourth.
So that's the end of another dramatic day's racing, and that's the end of the championship. And well done to Gordie Bonnie for coming here and winning in Top Fuel in his first year.
And Nicholas Anderson clinched his win in Norway, but proved that he really is the best by winning today.
So that's the end of it for another year. Make sure you look out for more Euro drag racing as it gets bigger and better in the year 2000.